I sent 009 to kill Reynard. He put a bullet in his head. That bullet's still there.
He feels no pain. He can push himself harder, longer than any normal man.
No hard feelings, Mr. Bond.
It appears that you have been beaten.
New model.
The very latest in intercepts and countermeasures, and 6 beverage cup holders.
I've always tried to teach you 2 things. First, never let them see you bleed.
And the second?
Always have an escape plan.
It's not just professional.
Someone's tampered with the bomb!
It's personal.
I have to get it back, or somebody's gonna have my butt.
First things first.
Time is up.
The world is not enough.
Hello YouTubers and all social media lands, welcome to an all new video. So this is another James Bond-a-thon review for you guys. This is the 19th film in the series, and we're going to get right into it and talk all about it. So it's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get into it. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on this video and the other videos I put up. And as always, people, if you enjoy my content on here, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, where I post pretty regularly on a regular basis. So definitely check those out. And as always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all new video. So like I was saying before, we're going to be doing the next James Bond film in my James Bond-a-thon review. And it's going to be talking about, like I said, the 19th film in the series, also starring the great Pierce Brosnan in his third outing as Mr. James Bond. And of course, that film has to be called is The World Is Not Enough. Oh yeah, The World Is Not Enough. Yeah, The World Is Not Enough. This one wasn't too shabby. It was pretty decent. It wasn't as good as Tomorrow Never Dies or GoldenEye, but definitely wasn't that bad. I did enjoy it. I thought it was pretty fun, but it's definitely not the best directed, of the James Bond films, I feel. But still a pretty decent film. But anyway, so this film, The World Is Not Enough, is directed by a gentleman that goes by the name of Michael Apted. Yeah, Michael Apted. Yeah. So Michael Apted, he's directed several films over the years. One I really enjoyed and think it's a really great film. But I feel that Michael Apted has an interesting eye for films. I thought that he brought a really good, class to this film. And, it wasn't the best director of the James Bond film, but I still think he did an overall pretty decent job. Now, another film I really enjoyed him and I thought he directed the hell out of and made a really great film is actually a psychological thriller film starring Hugh Grant and Gene Hackman called Extreme Measures. Oh yeah, Extreme Measures. Yeah, this movie is absolutely fantastic. Very similar to like a Robin Cook book. Really amazing film that deals with organs being harvested and sold and that kind of deal. And Gene Hackman plays the bad guy, and Hugh Grant is a doctor that's, figuring things out and trying to solve what's going on with these homeless people and all this kind of stuff. It's just a really amazing psychological thriller film. And Michael Apted directed the crap out of this film, and he made such an amazing thriller film. And I just thought he had a really good eye for that film and just gave us a really great an amazing film. If you haven't seen Extreme Measures, it's a really fantastic film. Definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. But like I was saying, he isn't the greatest director for this film, but I still think he did an overall good job, like I said before. I thought that the action sequences were pretty decent. I thought that the, acting and the writing was pretty decent as well. Not as solid as the last two films, but still a very enjoyable film. And all in all, I thought that Michael did a great job of just giving us a really decent Bond film that definitely was better than the next one I'm going to be talking about in the next review. But definitely a decent directing effort. Not the greatest, but still a decent directing, credit, and not that shabby of a completed film. If you haven't seen Michael Apted direct anything, definitely check him out. He's not too shabby when he did World Is Not Enough. So this film has a really all-star diverse cast that's really fun, really enjoyable, and brought lots of fun to this film. Now, of course, to start us off is 007 himself, Mr. Pierce Brosnan. Oh yeah, Pierce Brosnan, woo, Pierce Brosnan. Can't say enough good things about Pierce Brosnan. Like I said, I love this guy. I think he's fantastic. I think he's awesome. Everything he's in, he is so enjoyable. You know, from Mrs. Doubtfire to, you know, Dante's Peak to Laws of Attraction to Ghost Rider, etc., etc. He's just an awesome actor, and always enjoy him in anything he's ever in, like I've said before. But, you know, one film that I really enjoyed him in that is a more recent film of his that I don't know if a lot of people realize he was in this film, but he is really fantastic as Will Ferrell's dad in this film. And that, of course, is a film called Eurovision. The Story of Fire Saga. Yeah. Ooh, Eurovision. This movie is absolutely freaking fantastic. Absolutely love this film. Super funny, super hilarious, great cast, and Pierce Brosnan plays Will Ferrell's character's father in the film, and he's absolutely hilarious in this film. I love his whole demeanor in the film. He's like super hilarious. I love how like he's just kind of like deadpan the whole film, and it's just absolutely fantastic, and everyone should see Pierce Brosnan in this role because he just was so freaking hilarious and fun. If you haven't seen Eurovision, it's on Netflix now. Go check it out. Pierce Brosnan is fantastic in that film. But once again, his outing as James Bond, he's amazing as usual. He's fun. He's fantastic. You see the evolution of his character again in this one. You can see that he brought different elements from his last two outings and brought it to this one and give us a little more history of James Bond. And also you just see him evolve in his relationship with, you know, M and stuff like that, and, you know, just working with Judi Dench and giving that all-in-all kind of, you know, flavor and giving us this different and rich James Bond compared to the rest of the James Bonds we've seen. It just was a real pleasure and real fun to see him evolve and give us these great performances. He just was really fantastic in this. If you haven't seen him in anything, definitely check him out on World Is Not Enough. Pierce Brosnan was amazing. The next actor I'll be talking about that was in this film is none other than the main bad guy himself, Mr. Robert Carlyle. Oh yeah, Robert Carlyle. Woo, Robert Carlyle. So Robert Carlyle, he's an English actor. You might have recognized him for a slew of things over the years. He's been in a whole bunch of things. He's done a lot of bit parts. He's done a lot of cameos. He's done all kinds of sort of things, and he's even been in plays and all that kind of good stuff. But Robert Carlyle, I'm sure, is his biggest film that he's known for, and that which I'm going to talk about, is, of course, a 1997 film starring Mark Addy and just an interesting cast of characters, which is called The Full Monty. Oh, yeah, The Full Monty. Full Monty. Full Monty. Yeah, Full Monty. This movie is pretty fun. It's really enjoyable, hilarious. And Robert Carlyle is just really fun in it. And this is one of the films that I actually have seen him in and thought he was really enjoyable in. And I just really enjoyed his character in it. And I loved, you know, him being this guy that's, you know, trying to make a living being a stripper. And all the different, you know, English actors that were in this film and just made it really fun and hilarious. And Robert, I just thought was really enjoyable in it. I thought he did a good job. There was a lot of great scenes he was in. He had some really great dialogue and just some really great, you know, funny quips and you know, lines and so forth and stuff like that, and just really good jokes. I just think it's one of his best performances in a film that I've seen him in. I just thought he was really enjoyable. If you haven't seen The Full Monty, definitely check him out. He's pretty decent. He's pretty fun, and I thought he did a really decent job in it. But when it comes to him playing the bad guy in this film, he was actually really fun. Not the most solid villain, but he definitely was fun in it. And I enjoyed the different approach he brought to the character, being very conflicted and very in love with another bad guy that's in the film, and just being kind of different than other villains I've seen, very emotional and stuff like that, versus the more common, more, you know, sophisticated villains that they've had. And I thought he brought a really good approach to that and gave us a different type of villain, which was really enjoyable and fun. And I just thought Robert did a great job of bringing that to life and giving us this interesting villain. If you haven't seen The World Is Not Enough for Robert Carlyle, definitely check him out. He was a pretty decent villain. The next person I'm going to be talking about that was in this film is an actress who plays also a villain in the film, and is kind of supposed to be kind of like the main villain, but really isn't. She's kind of like working things and is working along with Robert Carlyle's character, and she played a very interesting villain, and at the same time she's kind of like considered kind of a Bond girl, but at the same time it's like she's an evil villain too that, you know, Bond has to deal with and try to get rid of. And that, of course, is Miss Sophia Morocco. Oh, yeah, Sophia Morocco. Woo! Sophia Morocco. Gorgeous beauty. Amazing actress, I think. I think she's pretty decent. I enjoyed her and in the film, and I thought that she did a pretty decent job. I don't think she's the greatest actress, but at the same time, I still think that what she brought to the table in this film was really well done and approached. But Sophia Morocco, she actually delivered an interesting character to this film. And was, definitely, supposed to be different than a regular Bond girl, but at the same time, kind of a Bond girl in the same kind of characterization, I feel. Now, another movie she was in that I think she was really fantastic in, is probably one of my favorite roles of hers, is a great 1995 film directed by and starring Mr. Mel Gibson. And that, of course, is a film called Braveheart. Yeah, Braveheart. Oh, this movie is so freaking epic and amazing about about William Wallace. Very loosely based on what actually happened to William Wallace, but still, it's a really well done medieval action-packed film with quite a few accuracies, and of course, there's a lot of liberties taken and so forth and stuff like that. But still, a really fantastic film. And Sophia Morocco's character in it actually is the queen of the king that William Wallace is going against, and she plays the character to the T. She's so evil and so regal and just amazing at the character, and just really brought that character, that real queen, to life. And I thought that she did an amazing job of giving us what she might have been like. Unfortunately, not getting to live back in that era, and actually seeing this person rule. But she did such a great job of giving us an essence of what she was. And I just thought that was a really brilliant role, and she did an amazing job. If you haven't seen Sophia Morocco or anything, definitely check it out on Braveheart. She was really fantastic. But overall, I thought she did a pretty decent job. She was enjoyable. She definitely was a looker. It was definitely, wonderful to see her in this film, and to see such a beautiful woman. But like I said, with her acting, I thought it was, definitely not the greatest, but still pretty decent and really amazingly done with the character that she's portraying. And I thought that she did an overall decent job. If you haven't seen Sophia Morocco or anything, definitely check her out on World Is Not Enough. She actually was pretty decent. So to round out this amazing cast is none other than the actual Bond girl of the film, Miss Denise Richards. Oh yeah, Denise Richards. Ooh, Denise Richards. So Denise Richards, of course, you might recognize from one of the Housewives shows. You might recognize her from Wild Things. You might recognize her from a slew of things over the years that she's done. But there's a great film that I really enjoyed her in that I think, is just a really fun film, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But, you might recognize Denise Richards as these things, and she's a okay actress. She's nothing huge or popular big, I feel. I think she's mediocre at most. But this actually is probably one of my all-time favorite roles of hers besides the one I'm going to be talking about. She actually was really fun in this. I really enjoyed her as the Bond girl. I was really surprised because I know she got a lot of hate and slack for this character, but I really enjoyed what she did with the character, giving us this very sophisticated character that is something different than what we've seen of other previous Bond girls as well. So I thought she was actually really fantastic in this film, and I really enjoyed her as being a part of this film and being the Bond girl. Now, another great film she was in that I really enjoyed her in is a great 2000s film, 2002 or 2003, I believe it came out, starring Eddie Griffin, and it's just a really fantastic comedy action film. And then, of course, the film called Undercover Brother. Oh yeah, Undercover Brother. Woo, Undercover Brother. Oh my god, I freaking love this movie. Chris Kattan's in it. James Brown. Chi McBride. I mean, this movie has a really great cast. Dave Chappelle's in it, and it is freaking hilarious. And Denise Richards plays this operative that's supposed to be a villain, but actually ends up falling in love with Eddie Griffin's character, Undercover Brother. And she is absolutely freaking hilarious in it. And how she acts and how she is in it is just so pure funny gold. And I just thought she was so fantastic in this film and so enjoyable. If you haven't seen Undercover Brother, definitely check her out in this. She was actually super hilarious and really fun in it. But like I was saying, overall, I thought she did a fantastic job with Wills Enough. I loved her character. I thought she was really great. And I enjoyed her that she brought to the table, her acting abilities, and at that, and gave us her all, and I thought she really did that with this film, and I just really enjoyed her in it. If you haven't seen Denise Richards or anything, definitely check it out. The World Is Not Enough. She's actually pretty decent in it. So what is The World Is Not Enough about? Basically, once again, Bond's got to save the world from a terrorist, basically, and save the world from nuclear explosion, basically, because they're basically trying to use a sub in this one that has a nuclear core and use it to basically take over the world. And it's up to Bond once again to save the world. It's pretty much always the same thing in each James Bond film, where he's trying to save the world or a portion of the world from some crazy person that wants to take it over. And that's pretty much what this was. Like I said, it's a solid film. Not the best directed, but still not the worst directed. It definitely is an interesting film, and it's fun. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great accompaniment to Tomorrow Never Dies and GoldenEye, and I definitely thought it was a really great, third outing for Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. There's a lot of greatness to this film, lots of fun, and just a really enjoyable film. If you haven't seen The World Is Not Enough, definitely check it out. It's a really decent James Bond film. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been before, don't forget to check out any older new videos you might not have seen mine yet. As always, people, if you want to show support for the channel, definitely check out my links down below, either for the Horror Pack, which is a great subscription service of horror films in either DVD or Blu-ray format for a great low price, or also you can check out my Patreon page where you can see outtakes, bloopers, and all kinds of fun stuff. So definitely check that out too, people. As always, catch you in the next one.